Hi everyone, I am Daehyun Kim and I will be sharing what I have been working on with Vidya, Setlur, and Maneesh Agrawala. This is a chart showing fixed mortgage rates. Here are 3 captions one might write. Which of these would be the most effective in guiding users towards the intended takeaways? These 2 would be more effective as they refer to the most prominent peak in the chart. Of the 2, the latter would be more effective as it includes information external to the chart that puts further emphasis on the feature it describes. But in the first caption that describes the less prominent rise, will the reader still take away from the most prominent chart feature, or will the reader rely on the caption and take away from the feature mentioned in the caption? To confirm our intuitions and answer our questions around how charts and captions work together in forming a reader's takeaway, we ran a user study. First, we collected a corpus of line charts, which are common and easily parameterizable and are thus useful for our initial exploration. We generated a set of 27 synthetic line charts using trends in the first half and the second half, and one outlier to induce common chart features such as extrema and inflection points. To build a more ecologically representative dataset, we collected 16 real-world charts from various sources on the web. We identified the top 3 visually prominent features and a non-prominent feature in these charts by crowdsourcing. For each of the 4 features we identified, we generated one caption without external information and one with external information. We included a basic caption only describing chart encodings and a no caption variant as baselines. Finally, we collected takeaways for each chart and caption from 2,168 participants. Here are our results. We found that the takeaways tend to mention the feature mentioned in the caption and more visually prominent features in the chart. So it is clear what would happen when the caption mentions the most prominent feature. In the right chart that shows the percentage of takeaways mentioning each feature when the caption describes the most prominent feature, we clearly see that participants took away from the feature doubly emphasized by the chart and the caption. The tallest leftmost bar indicates that 58% of the participants took away from the most prominent feature, compared to the 25% for the second and the third most prominent features. But what happens when there is a mismatch in the chart and its caption, and the caption describes a non-prominent feature? As in the right chart that shows the percentage of takeaways mentioning each feature when the caption describes a non-prominent feature, we found that the bars are closer in height, indicating that the features mentioned in the takeaways varied more. Yet, 40% of the participants relied more on the chart and still took away from the most prominent feature, far greater than the 11% who took away from the non-prominent feature describing the caption. As in the chart showing the percentage of takeaways mentioning the feature describing the caption, regardless of prominence, external information added additional emphasis on the caption and made it significantly more likely for takeaways to mention features described in the caption by a margin of 7%. We occasionally see captions including the intended message but not describing the most prominent chart feature. In this chart showing US president approval ratings in Europe, the most prominent chart feature is around the Obama era, but the caption describes a rather less prominent spike at the right end. Our findings indicate that many readers would not take away the intended message in the caption due to the incoherent messaging. For more efficient communication, the author should try to align the chart and the caption. In summary, takeaways tend to mention the feature describing the caption and more visually prominent chart features. So in our initial chart, people have the tendency to take away from the prominent peak. The first caption would make it more likely for readers to take away from the non-prominent increase it describes. And the second caption makes it more likely for readers to take away from the peak it describes. So if the caption describes the most prominent feature, it induces readers to take away from the feature doubly emphasized by the chart and the caption. Even if it does not, readers still rely on the chart and still take away from the most prominent feature. So in either of our captions, people will take away from the most prominent peak, although more reliable with the latter caption. Finally, external information reinforces the caption and guides people to take away from the caption. So captions like this last one will be the most effective in getting people to take away from the feature it mentions.